Let's go.
I'm okay. Looks like this more, the least I've gotten waiting for. Are you ready for your eye exam?
Showtime indeed. It's the Munsters, Stern's 2019 release, designed by John Borg, art by Christopher Franchi, software by Dwight Sullivan, and sound by Jerry Thompson. Nick, kick it off while I dig up the photos.
We're going to talk about art, right? So, I mean, here's the deal. We're going to go through all of the kind of art, sound, gameplay, blah, 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 and then we're going to wrap it up with a nice rating. We got a system for that. We'll talk about that before we give the rating. But let's talk about art, which is a good place to start so we can kind of start on a high note and then work our way down.
Yeah,
all right.
Art is probably where this thing thrives. So you're going to see some photos of some other games here, but we're getting to it. There it is.
Chris Fanchi did a fantastic job. It's a really good art package. It's a good looking machine. I got to see the black and white one in person, which is on the premium, and I really like that. It's a striking thing to have in a lineup of games, and it has splashes of color like on the inserts and in other areas, and it's smart. It just works so well. I think he did a fantastic job with the Munsters, and for me that is the high point of the game. It's a pretty good look from an art standpoint. It's a good looking game. If you like, 60s sitcoms that were on TV for a whopping 2 seasons.
That's right.
If that's your thing.
I'm battling the slideshow here, folks. Bear with me.
This is half the show. You guys are missing this if you're listening to the podcast. It's Kevin struggling.
Just battling this slideshow the whole time. I think we're almost there. I deleted all the non-Munsters photos.
And he's flustered, so... Do you want to skip your art? You like the art. Should we move on to sound?
So let me just give Franchi some credit here because this is absolutely my favorite piece of art that Chris Franchi has done on Pinball Machine. I think he absolutely crushed it, and it looks great. All 3 models have something interesting to offer. The premium or the Pro, I think, might be my favorite of the color. Like you said, the art on the premium has that cool black and white feel, and a little pops of color with the green and stuff like that. They bring in some good visual effects with the lighting on it, and that's the Pro right there that you're seeing, and that's the LE playfield with the lower playfield, which we'll get into. But art is amazing, very well done. It's one of those busy kind of playfield, so if you like more empty kind of white space in your machine, this is not that sort of game. This is one of those, you're getting a ton of art, it's packed with art, looks great. I really love the overall use of color on this. All right, so let's talk about sound.
Sound in Munsters. Well, I don't love the sound in Munsters. First of all, that child's voice is annoying, but any child's voice to me is annoying, so take that with a grain of salt.
Child voice, dog barking, right around the same place for Nick Lane.
You hit the left and right, there's like a wolf howling sound.
Yeah. It's kind of a throwback to Monster Bash, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of nods to Monster Bash in this game. Some of the music actually sounds like Monster Bash, but other than that, it's forgettable. It's sort of it's got a wicked slide whistle. Let me say, love that slide whistle. This is perhaps the best use of slide whistle in any pinball machine I've seen.
I think they got the real wobbly chair.
I don't know. Who was manning the slide whistle, nailed it.
Crushed it.
All right.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of the Munsters theme. I think that was the concern with Ghostbusters, that you were just going to hear the Ghostbusters theme song all the time, and I thought they did a good job of not doing that in Ghostbusters. You had it when you started, but then once you got into all the modes, there was all sorts of different cool music and homages to the movie soundtrack. But in this game, there's not really modes that much, so you don't get that much there's not differentiation of the sound package. Would say,
there's not really modes, right? Yeah. You hit a shot a couple times, and you might start like a multi-ball or like a scoring mode, but it has modes in the way Iron Man has modes, right? Like it's that kind of style of machine. So in other words, it doesn't have modes,
right?
All right, you guys know what I'm talking about,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
features. It has features.
I brought that up because when on Ghostbusters you get into the modes and they're all unique and distinctive, and on this it's just kind of like everything just kind of runs, and the whole game kind of sounds the same when you play it. There's not
Sure.
different. Little,
That's a good way to put it.
Like, you don't feel like you're going into different parts of a world or something. I don't
Yeah, all of a sudden you blink, and you're like, oh, I've got Monster Madness lid. Okay, sure.
What's next? Toys.
Toys.
There's some toys on this game.
There are some toys on the game. Let's start off with the Pro. And on the Pro, I guess you can call this a toy. It's Herman. It's a pretty lame bash toy. He's kind of positioned normally where Sparky is, but to the left a little bit. He's less kind of cool than Sparky because Sparky is really animated on it's a good use of a spring, Stern. You kind of crush it then.
Yeah,
You're just trying to repeat it.
It's a spring with a coil on it that makes it move. That's why.
Sparky,
yeah.
Yeah. This guy,
Herman
I guess.
doesn't move, does he?
Well, this was the debate. I think we were talking about this on the Bro Show. I guess he bounces back a little bit. It's really lame.
Yeah.
It's just a wasted. It looks like it might do something cool, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
right?
if it moves, I didn't notice it.
Yeah, it's lame. I don't care about that. The other thing on it is on the staircase on the left ramp, you've got whatever that thing is called. Like, it looks like a dinosaur. It's the same thing as in Walking Dead Premium and LE, how the bicycle girl kind of like a thing that you bash.
Yeah,
right
under the ramp.
Under the ramp. That
Except
pops up.
he pops his head out of the ramp instead of you shooting under the ramp. That's the difference.
That is the difference.
That is the difference.
And the weird thing is that they don't have like a spotlight or anything on it, so it's so easy to like not even know it's there.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, I remember the first time Martha hit it. She's like, "What the hell happened? I hit that shot and then the ball just came back." It's like,
and
no,
it's understandable.
it's the same thing on Walking Dead, right? Because a lot of folks, I know you have.
I have the spotlight.
lighting
Yeah,
kit that you put on there.
it's just bizarre that they don't highlight that.
like you want it. It's something cool. Show it off. You know.
Put like LEDs in it or something. Oh,
Yeah.
that would break the bank.
Right.
That's it for toys, right? For the Pro. And then we're gonna move on to
let's talk about the lower playfield.
lower playfield. So this is the big distinguishing factor between the Pro and the Premium and LE. Premium and LE has a lower playfield. And what can you say about that, Kev?
It's like mini Stewie Pinball, but with cooler mechs. Is what I would say. It's got a vertical up kicker,
Yeah,
and a ramp.
that's true.
That returns to the flipper.
Stewie had a ramp that returned the flipper, though, didn't it? I think he did.
Did it? I don't know.
Yeah, I
But it
think
didn't have the vertical, and it's got a multi-ball down there.
It's got a multi-ball down there. Stewie did not have a multi-ball? I can't remember.
I don't know.
It's been a while. I don't think it did.
But it's got the same size flippers and balls, so
Yeah.
when you're playing it, it feels like that. It's got it. You use the second set of flipper buttons, which are lower on the cabinet, which is kind of cool. So it kind of feels like you're going down into the basement. I don't know what you thought, but I thought the machine shot, the one in the center there, was kind of tough to hit. They don't give you much room to.
Yeah, it wasn't not like it's impossible, but it's a mini shot. Your impression of the lower playfield is basically how do you feel about the mini playfield on Family Guy, right? Because that's essentially it.
Yep.
And you're gonna go down there every time you play the game, possibly several times. So, how long can you do that before it gets boring? Is my question.
Right.
And again, it's how do you feel about Family Guy mini playfield? It has separate buttons for it, unlike Family Guy. So separate buttons just for that. Which I have like little Trump hands, so it was hard for me almost to reach that button. It was a little awkward for me to do that. I don't know. It's the kind of thing that like looks cool. More than I don't know how fun it is, but I think it adds to the visual appeal of the game.
Oh yeah, it looks amazing, and the sculpt they used for the machine down there, I think, looks really good. Overall, yeah, like you said, it just as a whole package, you can tell it's supposed to be there because on the Pro, there's just like nothing in the middle of the playfield.
Yeah,
and that's what makes the Pro so dark. We showed it out when we streamed it. We turned the light off, and it's just like there's nothing in the middle of the playfield. There's no inserts, nothing on the Pro. So. It really feels like it's kind of missing something, I would say.
I like what they did with this. It looks like they kind of made a mistake, in my opinion, with AC/DC, how you cannot replace that plastic cover for the lower playfield. Like if it gets scuffed up, dirty, whatever, you're living with that the rest of your life. This, it looks like it's replaceable because I see screws on top of it.
That's smart.
So that is smart. Good on CERN for learning, and that's good for the customer.
Yeah, for sure. So you see some great improvements there.
DMD and lighting.
DMD.
LCD display. Come on. Do you want me to?
You
got
do.
the-
Go for it.
Come on.
It looks like a Sega CD game.
Yes. Holy shit!
You
It
remember
looks
those full motion video games on the Sega CD back in the 90s? That's what this reminded me of.
Yeah. If you played a CD-ROM game in the 90s on a PC or Sega CD or whatever, that's how the overlay looks like on this, like just showing clips. It's pretty bad. And the funny thing is, one of our loyal viewers, Attack, said the same damn thing when we were streaming on the Bro Show. I'm like, did you hear me say that? He's like, no, that's just how obvious it is.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Mm-hmm. Not a great display, and showing the same. Skip Nass says it's Night Trap.
That's exactly what I said.
Showing the same like lame clips, like Herman goes to work or Herman does the
his
laundry.
laundry.
Like, who gives a shit? And you see it like so many times. And again, I don't care about the Munsters. It was on for 2 seasons in the 60s. Like, maybe they have like 5 episodes to work with. I don't know.
Yeah, there's not a lot of content there over 2 seasons, right? It looks like Encyclopedia CD-ROM. Yeah, exactly.
It does.
Okay.
It does. It's not good.
Yeah. It feels like they were trying to do a take on the Pirates layout, because even in the corner it's got the clock, like the stopwatch falls down on Pirates.
No, Jesus, I hope not.
That's what it feels like.
They didn't copy well.
No, they didn't. But I
it's
see
bad.
some similarities in that, where it shows little icons and stuff while you're playing.
Yeah.
It's not on the same level.
That versus Oktoberfest display. What's
Munsters
better?
Is better.
Munsters is better?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ouch.
Way better.
Sorry, Oktoberfest.
Munsters is light years better.
Light years.
Yeah.
Huh.
I said it.
That's debatable.
Yeah, all right. It's a review. We give our opinions on things.
Yeah.
You may or may not agree. I don't know if you know this or not, but opinions vary. They're objective.
Yeah. All right.
Gameplay. Gameplay's good. Shoot's great.
Yeah.
It's probably one of Borg's best layouts, I think, as far as like shooting the ramps.
It plays so well. It's very familiar.
Yeah.
It's like I've played this game before.
He's had many opportunities to fine tune this layout.
So you're positive about the layout.
I'm positive on the layout. Shoot's great. Shots are satisfying.
Yeah.
The only one that's weird is that kitty stand-up target. I can't really find that.
Okay.
But everything else I feel like is good to shoot.
Yeah. I mean the kitty stand-up target is I think appropriately like tough or challenging because it is like it multiplies the playfield multiplier. Mm-hmm. This to me, this is like the gameplay is fine. The gameplay is good. The gameplay is exceptionally boring because I've seen this game a million times. Mm-hmm. It's called Iron Man. It's called Metallica. It's called Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just they're releasing the same damn game over and over again. We're into like the Call of Duty of pinball at this point, where it's the same fucking game that I've been playing, and I'm seriously bored of it. Mm-hmm. I have no interest in it anymore.
Yep.
I don't get it. I don't get why they keep on. At least Borg, I love Borg. I don't get why he keeps on making the same game, and then people keep on buying it. I think there's other people like me who feel like I've seen this before and I've done this before. How is this even remotely interesting? That's probably my biggest criticism of this game. It's just like so many other games that have come out in the last few years.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was like when Guardians came out. It's like it's another Stern. It's a pinball machine. Like we said in our impressions, it's like, okay, here you know what to expect when you're getting into this layout.
I think even like Guardians feels a little different, even though it looks the same as like Metallica. This I feel like plays very similar to like Metallica. Looks and feels more like Metallica than like even Guardians. And they're all three are like the same, and you can even make an argument about Iron Man being like in that club of sameness. I don't know, man. It's kind of a bummer.
All right. Well, let's keep the bummer going, and you can talk about some rules.
Why don't I just slammed it? Why don't you go first?
Rules. All right. So there aren't any. Moving on. No, it's So the kind of the take on this game is it's a very shallow game that puts stuff close to the start button, so you can achieve a lot in the game without having to play it for 45 minutes. And that's very true. If you watched our Bro Show, it's the only Bro Show we've ever done where everybody has gotten to the wizard mode.
Well, I was listening to Head to Head Pinball podcast, and they were saying that Dwight said it's Monster Madness is not a wizard mode; it's more like a multi-ball. I mean, I said that in a listen. That is a wizard mode or mini wizard mode. I don't care what they're trying to spin it as. You've completed a grid, and that lights up. That is that. If you're familiar with Monster Bash, okay, it's like getting to whatever Monster Man or whatever before you collect all the instruments, right?
Yeah.
It's getting to that. It's like this again. They're trying to basically be a Monster Bash. That's sort of easy to get to, but the Munsters is way easier to get to.
And there is like a level 2
Monster Bash, not
Monster Madness, but it's achieving the same things but harder. So it's like it's not like a mini wizard mode in a traditional sense where it's something on your way to the ultimate thing. This is more like if you got to the wizard mode on, say, I don't know, like Johnny Mnemonic, and then it starts you back at square one, and then you got to go through it all again. It feels like that, like you're just starting over from scratch.
Yeah, after you do Monster Madness, first of all, it gives a big presentation, bigger than any multi-ball start does in a pinball machine. So don't tell me that. And then when you're done with it, guess what? You do everything again, and you go to another level of Monster Madness. It's just like, dude, this is crazy. Jay Fairbrother got to the Monster Madness.
Say no more.
All of us did on the Bro Show. Like, people were doing it on like the first or second game of it they've ever played.
Yeah. First game I played on, I got it.
And then who wants to be rewarded by doing it again? Like, I don't get it. It's just bizarre to me. Maybe this game is just not for us.
Yep.
And that's fine.
Yep.
It wasn't marketed like that, so that's I think the confusion. If you say, listen, that's not for you guys. This is for the super, super casual person who likes shows from the 1960s. That's who it's for. Okay.
All right,
fine. I still think there's it could be a little better, but
yeah. And that leads us into lastability. I think so. Somebody asked my impressions of this game on I think it was on YouTube, and I left this comment. I said, it's a beautiful game, shoots great, and you're gonna have a good time, but you're gonna see everything there is to see very quickly in this game.
Yeah.
And it's gonna even an average player is gonna see everything there is to see really quick in this game. So it's hard to recommend a purchase on this when it's, especially for home. I think it's a great location game. Like, when I was setting up for the stream at Community Beer Works, 2 people that worked there walked up to me and told me this was their favorite game because, I don't know, they didn't give specifics, but they loved it, which is great. And that speaks to Stern recognizing the fact that, if you want to expand the pinball market, you have to have games that appeal to the casual player, the walk-up player, the folks we see at Masuda Chow's or whatever. They can't even figure out how to start the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you need games that are satisfying for them, and you also need games like Iron Maiden or Pirates of the Caribbean that appeal to the veteran players who have been in it a long time, that are going to have these in their home and really want a lot to experience, that are going to get a lot out of these games. So I think lastability for the home buyer is where this game really kind of struggles.
Terrible lastability. I cannot recommend this for anybody to buy. I mean, even if you're new to pinball, there's plenty of other great games that you can get that's a good intro to pinball. It's we've had it on location for almost 2 months now, and it's been doing well. I mean, it's early. Every game sort of does well early on.
Sure.
But it'll be interesting to see how this does. So this might be a huge hit with casuals, more so than other games. I can see a casual player liking this game a heck of a lot more than Iron Maiden. Right? Like, there's toys, there's some obvious things to go for. So that's maybe where the home is for this game and the audience for this game. And that's great. As an operator, that's fantastic. For people like us who've been playing for so long, who are pinball nerds and dive into rules and, thinking about spending $5,600, don't get this game.
Yeah. And, we got the Pin Stadium saying it's great in a large collection, creates variety in the lineup. And I totally agree that not every game has to be Lord of the Rings. You don't need to play a game for 45 minutes. Hell, I just picked up a T2, and that's shallow as hell. But when you pick up a T2, you're not spending $6,000 on a brand new game. It's a fraction of that, So if you want a game that is a quicker playing game, the's tons of options.
There's a lot better options.
Most of the games from the 90s are going to scratch that itch for you. I agree. There's a market for these games. They're fun. I have a blast. I have a space shuttle in my collection. It's like there's a place for all of this. But the people who are likely watching this review right now are considering this as an in-home purchase. And is this a great game for your home? I'm going to say it's not.
No. All right. Let's go over our review system so we can
I put fancy new
give
buttons
you
on it
a
like that.
sense of what we mean when we give a number.
Yep.
Kevin's going to try to scroll down.
Where's my interact button?
Enhance, Kevin.
Come on. Interact. There we go. I can do it. Woo. There we go.
All right. Here we go. So, on the scale, what does this mean? 0 to 2 is burn it. A 3 to 5 is an expensive nightlight. 6 to 8 is a solid game. And 9 to 10 is get your wallets out. Kevin, what do you give it?
This is a 6 game. It's solid, but it's on the low end of solid. It's it's good for a location. If you're a new player, you might have fun with it for a while, but it's not going to stay in your collection long.
I think that's very generous of Kevin. I'm going to put it at a 5, which is on the high end of an expensive nightlight.
Okay.
You turn it on, it looks pretty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just don't look at the display and fire it up, and don't really play it because you're going to get bored, but it looks good. It's a good looker. It's going to be a $5,600 nightlight for you. Enjoy.
Yeah.
All right.
We did it. That's the Munsters.
There we go.
Let's bring it home.
All right, Kevin, we've just been spending an hour and a half trying to ruin pinball for our monthly podcast. What do you want to say before we close it out?